Thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Thursday, October 3rd, 2019. 33 degrees outside. Shane Montalban on the line with me, half man, half amazing, in Vancouver, British Columbia. And we want to welcome you to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We're here every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. And happy to be here, right, Shane?
Every day, baby. This is a Thursday. So now our overhump day. And this is a kind day, so Monday, is the best day because we get so many people calling in. Tuesday, you're not happy with Tuesday.
Yeah, well.
And then Wednesday's hump day, and then Thursday is okay. Now we're getting ready for the week, and then we have finally Friday.
Yeah, well, Thursday's pre-Friday.
yeah. Thanks Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday,
thanks Thursday. Yeah, all right. All right. Well, there's a lot going on in the world, but weather is also going on in the world, Shane, but like it or not. Climate change, global warming, cooling, whatever is going on. But anyway, we're cooling. Well, we're warming up a little bit, actually.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, today we're looking for a high of 56 degrees, Shane. Count it, 56. Wow. We haven't seen the 50s since 2 weeks ago when it was 90.
You need to call the kids to have a demonstration.
Yeah. This is when they should be out. They should be out demonstrating today.
Yeah, it's not warm enough.
Right. Yeah. Well, we have increasing clouds today with a high near 56. Tonight, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly clear with a high around 32 degrees tonight, and not much in the way of precip at all for the next, for tomorrow, or for today anyway. But however, tomorrow, Friday, chance of rain before 7 a.m. for your commute to work. Then a chance of rain and snow between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Then rain likely after 9, and increasing clouds with a high near 51 tomorrow. And chance of precip 70%. But little or no snow accumulation is expected tomorrow for Friday. Friday night, though, we got a chance of rain mixing with snow after 9 p.m., then gradually ending. Mostly cloudy with a low around 31. Chance of precip's about 50% on Friday night. Little or no snow accumulation is expected.
So like, everybody puts buckets out to accumulate the snow, and then there's no, they can't accumulate anything. Well, that's terrible. I mean, they could run out of water.
Well, I know.
We better call Clint about this.
This is serious. Yeah, this is very serious. Yeah. Let's see. On Saturday, a slight chance of rain and snow between noon and 3 p.m., then a slight chance of rain after 3 p.m. It's going to be mostly sunny with a high near 49 on Saturday. And chance of precip's only 20% on Saturday. Saturday night, a slight chance of rain mixing with snow after 9 p.m., then gradually ending. And partly cloudy with a low around 29. And the chance of precip on Saturday night is only 20% also. Weekend looks pretty good, though. Sunday is sunny with a high near 55. Sunday night, mostly clear. Low around 33. And then Monday, sunny with a high near 63, and Monday night mostly clear with a low around 38. So, got that going for you.
There you go, buddy.
Livingston right now is 39 and clear. Manhattan's 27. Three Forks is 31. Galton Gateway is 32. Ennis is 33. Big Sky 26, and at the airport in Belgrade right now it's 29 degrees. We're right at 33 degrees here in our lavishly appointed downtown studios at 10 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. on Thursday, October 2nd. Happy to be here. So
it's a barn day.
Yeah, it is. Well, the poll question of the day, do you agree with the sentencing of Amber Guyger? She is the off-duty policeman that went to an apartment above her apartment by mistake, walked in the apartment, saw a person there, thought it was a burglar, being an off-duty police officer who I think she did a double shift or something like that. She was burned out pretty good for the day, I guess, and started blazing and killed the guy. And she was sentenced to 10 years yesterday. So our poll question of the day, do you agree with the sentencing of Amber Guyger? And right now, 75% of you say yes, even though the shooting was an accident. Nobody says no. Murder is murder. 10 years is too light. And the other, we give you an opportunity to put your own answer in. And no, they don't agree with the sentencing. So I don't know why.
This was really more of a civil rights case because,
Well, it sort of was. You got a white female policeman shooting a black
in uniform after a double shift.
Yeah, in uniform.
She was. She got off the wrong floor.
Yeah. And
one thing they didn't say was there anyone else in the elevator with her? I would have liked to have known because that would have been interesting if you.
Yeah, I don't know either. The other thing that I'm wondering about is wouldn't you lock your apartment? Wouldn't you have to do the key to get in?
Well, I think that's another thing they didn't really clarify. I think obviously what she did is she got off, went to what she thought was her, and turned it and was open.
Yeah.
So that's probably what alarmed her first, right? The door was unlocked.
Well, it could be. Yeah,
I'm thinking
that may have heightened her situation there. So, we weren't privy to the trial, obviously, as to what came up or what did or didn't.
Yeah.
And but I would think if I came home and the door was unlocked, and I knew the wife wasn't there, that would probably heighten my senses a little bit, that why is the door unlocked?
Yeah, the dramatic thing was, after they made the decision, people, had a right to testify about what had happened. Mm-hmm. And the brother of the guy shot, forgave her on the stand and then asked if he could hug her, and he got up and hugged her. And that was a pretty intense thing. That
mm-hmm. I was surprised. I was really surprised the judge allowed that. I guess the guy was compelling. I noticed they had a cop right next to him.
Yeah,
a pretty good sized guy was there to separate him if he decided to start choking her or something or whatever. But the other thing too, I think that probably hurt her. There's some history in her past of a Martin Luther King joke and some other comments she made about black officers, so that may have swayed the jury somewhat that she was more apt to shoot a black person than if the person in the apartment had been white or female or
That's
whatever.
True, but it still had to be a unanimous vote.
Well, yeah, no, that's very true.
And it was in Texas, right?
Dallas, yeah. I think it was Dallas. Anyway.
Yeah, Texas, yeah.
Yeah, because they were talking about it when I was down there. They were talking about it on the air because the trial was going on in Dallas. Well,
Texas still has a death penalty, so she could have got death penalty. She could have got 100 years.
Yeah.
She could have got 20 years. I mean, the prosecutor was saying 28 years because he would have been 28 years old that day.
Right, so, I mean, that's what they were asking for, yeah. Our poll question from yesterday, should the whistleblower's identity remain secret? Yes, the public has a right to know, won out at 47%. No, 25%. Otherwise, no one will come forward. What whistleblower got 8%? 2% were undecided.
Well, it was incredible. We were going over the poll yesterday when the whole thing blew up when, the New York Times released a story that Schiff knew about it. But it's another Kavanaugh deal.
Yeah, that's another deal. Yeah. Well, some of the other answers, it's a setup, just another tactic to leak info. In this specific case, no, the whistleblower's identity should not be known. This scenario does not meet the whistleblower bar, so yes, the accuser should be known. Since the whistleblower info is a lie, he or she should be revealed. Absolutely let us know who it is. Should be judged by 3 judges to see if they have standing. And the law says the accused has the right to confront his accuser. And it wasn't a whistleblower, it was a plant. So those are some of the other answers that got 16% of the vote on that one.
Well, the Republican caucus in the Congress has filed a censure claim against Schiff. So of course, the Democrats won't censure him, but I mean, at least they'll have a vote on it because they can't stop a vote on the censure of a member of the House.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of voting, Shane and I are in the BozemanMagazine.com, BozemanMagazine.com. Every year they do their Bozeman's Choice, Bozeman's Best, Bozeman something, whatever they call it. And we are in the running for Bozeman Choice Favorite Local Celebrity. We are, the station is Local News Source. And Bozeman's Choice Local Radio DJ, that's Shane and I. Local Radio Show, that's the one I'd really like to win. I'd like to win the local radio show.
Nah, you want to win the voice one, the sexy voice.
Well,
Give me
whatever. Anyway,
You're just a narcissistic radio host. What are you talking about? Come on.
Well, we also have Bozeman's Choice, a local radio station, and the one Shane wants me to win, the most luscious local radio voice. And, of course, my voice is quite luscious, I might add.
And of course, we want to thank them for nominating us because we're, you know, this is where we should have a crowd, you know, cheering.
Yeah, crowd cheer. Yeah, I'll pull that up later. But anyway. Well, right now, we got to take care of our crowd of farmers, ranchers, and everybody that brings you food, booze, or clothing. And we'll be right back after Montana news and agriculture. Let's cross our fingers and hope it plays. We'll be right back. 23 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m., it's Thursday, October 3rd, 2019, 33 degrees outside, looking for a high of 56 degrees today. Shane and Tobin, half man, half amazing. On the line, Tommy Gloff, your morning mayor, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And if you'd like to vote for us in the Bozeman Magazine poll, you go to BozemanMagazine.com. And click on the Bozeman Favorites, or Bozeman Choice, I believe it is up there. Let me see here. I'll tell you in a minute. Bozeman Choice. Yep, click on that. They'll ask you to do a couple of things, and we are under Media and Info. Media and Info. So get over there and vote for Tom and Shane. We're sick and tired of talk radio audiences being kicked to the curb in favor of all these music guys that maybe they might talk 30 seconds, so they pay 45 minutes of music. Come on, I mean that's hardly a job. I mean, I don't know if you could even be called a personality if that's all you do. So yeah,
they don't even rack records anymore. They just play.
The whole thing's on computer. They just punch a button and you get like 45 minutes of music, and then they come on and they tell you something funny about some country western person or something, and then they play another 45 minutes of music. Where's the talent in that? Come on.
Yeah, talent.
We work hard here. We work our tails off here for you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
It's not telemarketing, it's radio marketing.
That's right. Hey, we need some. The recognition is long overdue for both us and KMMS. So get over there and vote. Bozeman Choice for favorite local celebrity. News Source is the station, of course. Radio DJ is Shane and myself. Radio Show is, of course, the Morning Soapbox. And the local radio station, of course, is AM 1450. And most luscious local radio voice would be me, of course. So, I mean, that's a no-brainer for that one.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, that just should be done. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, on this day in history, guess what? Abraham Lincoln. Oh, that's Abraham Lincoln. I'm sorry. President Abraham Lincoln in 1863 declared the last Thursday in November to be Thanksgiving Day.
Well, yeah, it's remarkable. We all know our history, of course.
Of course.
The Pilgrims' first Thanksgiving was October 1621. Mm-hmm. And Edward Winslow, who is a member of the Mayflower that came over, attended by 90 natives and 53 pilgrims. That's all that were left when they had it because they were all starving.
Right.
But as you said, it started out as a national holiday on the fourth Thursday of November by George Washington, 1789. Thomas Jefferson chose not to observe the holiday, so nothing was done until Abraham Lincoln, who made it a federal holiday in 1863 during the Civil War because things weren't going well, and he was hoping this would sort of unite the country. And Lincoln proclaimed a national day of, quote, thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father who dwelt in the heavens, unquote. Mm-hmm. I mean, who talks like that? Obviously he did because of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So anyway, he picked the last Thursday in November, but it was under Franklin Delano Roosevelt, because of all the anguish going on with the progressive liberals, because this was a holiday, a religious holiday.
Right.
And changed the date between 1939 and 1491. And finally, in 1942, they decided and proclaimed in Congress that it'd be the fourth Thursday of November. So there's your holidays, first holiday of the season history. Thanksgiving, folks. Yahoo!
All right. 1941, Adolf Hitler declared in a speech in Berlin that Russia had been broken and would never rise again. Well, obviously, that wasn't true, and they did. So.
That's right. 1990, they were united after being separated for a very long time. And under Bush, by the way, we got to remember this one. The CIA never saw it coming, the collapse of Russia, or the reuniting and the wall coming down in Germany. Wow, that's a big one to miss out on.
That is. 1951, Bobby Thompson hit the shot heard around the world, the 3-run home run in the bottom of the ninth of the playoff game at the Polo Grounds, and that sent the New York Giants into the World Series. 1951, shot heard around the world. 1961, the M guy, Mazda something or other, the Pirates hit one in the bottom of the ninth, and I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, in 1955, Captain Kangaroo premiered on CBS. 1960, Andy Griffith premiered on CBS. In 1961, Dick Van Dyke premiered on CBS. And in 1955, the Mickey Mouse Club premiered on ABC. Some of the big shows of the time. Situation comedy, the kings of the airwaves back then.
I don't know. I didn't like Captain Kangaroo as a kid. I thought he was a weird-looking guy. I never watched that show.
Well, he was kind of weird, yeah. He had Mr. Greensleeves and Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring, and, the whatever. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yeah,
But the situation comedy became famous, or started, like you said, with Andy Griffith and Dick Van Dyke, and they're famous to this day, and they're entertaining. I mean, there's just been some terrific writing done for comedies. It's been great. We've been going through them all, yeah.
Well, in 1990, West Germany and East Germany ended 45 years of post-war division, declaring the creation of a new unified East and West Germany. It's just Germany now.
It is, and what a deal it took. I mean, after the Marshall Plan built West Germany, and then after, the Bush presidency went all in to, help Germany get through the phase they're in now. So sort of cool. Always helping.
All right, we got to pay some bills here, and, we got to collect some money here, actually.
Yeah.
Because we got Fox News, we got Montana State News, and we've got Britt Foster Weather. We've got Rich's Flooring looking for some folks and other things, so stay tuned. And we'll be back with local stuff in just a moment. Coming up at 7 o'clock, Mike McCormick will join us. Finally Thursday. Post-Friday.
That's right.
No,
there you go.
Pre-Friday, not post-Friday. Yeah. Post-Friday would probably be Saturday.
Yeah.
From our app chat line regarding our poll question of the day, which is, do you agree with the sentence of Amber Guyger? And she is the lady who, the off-duty police officer that got off on the wrong floor, walked into an apartment she thought was hers, saw someone in there, and opened fire. And from our app chat line, question is, did she announce herself upon entering the building, and then did she give him a command to stop, and he didn't? So that would be an issue, too. As I say, we weren't privy to the testimony at the trial as to what happened, but that would be a question, certainly, I think that probably should have been asked during the trial, and maybe was.
Oh, I think it was. She admitted to doing it. There wasn't.
Yeah, she didn't dispute. She didn't dispute it. She just said it was a terrible accident, and it was that. She had a long day, got off on the wrong floor, thought it was her apartment. As I said, I think you would get your keys out and try to unlock your door, but apparently the door was open, and she walked in and
bam,
saw this guy and thought he was a burglar, and boom. Yeah. So, Let's see. Also from our text chat, or chat line rather, Tom voted. It's all under Bozeman's Choice 2020. All right.
All right.
They voted for us. We also got notification. Ennis had 2 inches of snow yesterday. So there you are from our app chat line. You want to get the AM 1450 KMMS app, and I'll tell you why. Because there are only 3 football games left at home. Only 3, Shane.
Yeah, season's almost done.
Well, yeah, but they're going to be on the road almost the whole time. Or we got a game on November 2nd. We don't have another one till the Cat Grizz game on the 23rd. So that's a long time to go without cheering in the stands here in Bozeman.
Yeah, that's one of the things about football that's so fascinating to the rest of the world. There's, even in professional football, right? There's so few games, and yet you have all of these college stadiums and professional stadiums, billion-dollar stadiums everywhere.
I know.
It's not like soccer. Soccer's like,
year-round or almost. Yeah, well, every 4 years they have the World Cup, but, they're playing all the time.
Yeah, but the season is like baseball and
they run all over the place, and
they like have 60 games a year or something, right?
Yeah, basketball in college we played 30 games. We'd play twice a week, I think, and that's tough, man. It's hard.
That is, yeah.
But anyway, getting back to our AM 1450 KMMS app, the reason you want to get it is that we're going to give away 2 tickets on the app, so you got to get it, and particularly with those Cat Grizz tickets coming up, you want to get in on the drawing to that. We'll give away 2 tickets for every game on the phone, and we'll give away 2 tickets on our app chat line, or our app, I should say. It'll be on the app chat, because we'll ask you to send us text us on the app chat a keyword for the game or something. So.
Well, it's pretty cool you have the tickets, because the stadium's sold out. I mean, it's
will be for that one. I'll tell you, you can scalp those Bozeman, the Cat Grizz, depending on where they are in the standings. As to if they're at the top of the league there, then you definitely want to get your party in there and get that.
Yeah, that's right.
If you don't want to go to the game, or you're not a football fan, and you win the tickets anyway, hey, you've got a nice little Christmas bonus down there, passing out these free tickets. Well, they wouldn't be free, but they have gone for $200, $300, $400.
Yeah,
so a lot of people are down there. Hey, they bring their bucks with them, and if you got a ticket to sell, man, let's play. What's behind door number 1, number 2, or number 3? Which door do you want?
That's right.
All right, we got to take another quick break. We'll be right back with more local stuff right after this. 18 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, October 3rd, 2019, 33 degrees outside, looking for a high of 56 degrees today. And one of the local stories I wanted to get to, Shane, is the long-awaited discharge of treated wastewater from a farmer open pit copper mine into Silver Bow Creek in Butte has started with little fanfare. That, of course, is the Berkeley Pit. They're finally cleaning the water in the Berkeley Pit before the water in it is rising, and they don't want it to infect groundwater, so they're forced to treat it and get it out of here. The discharge from Berkeley Pit being done by the Montana Resources and Atlantic Richfield. The work by the companies began Monday, 4 years ahead of the point where acidic, metal-laden water from the mine could reach the water table. And the Berkeley Pit was allowed to fill with groundwater beginning in 1982 and listed as a Superfund cleanup site in 1983. The water level's been rising while regulators and responsible parties developed a plan to treat the water. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency regional director called the release of water a milestone. So maybe they can finally clean that pit up. I don't know, Shane. It's been there a long time, since the 80s. That's right. For a while, they had birds landing in it and dying, and they had to put nets up, or they had loud noises or something to keep them from landing in the pit. But that was it's a nasty place.
Copper mines are insidious because you add water to it, and it creates cyanide.
Right.
And we had the same problem with the Britannia mine. It was the largest copper mine in the empire for over 200 years, and you can pass it on the way to Whistler, but same problem, water leaking through and creating cyanide, and it would run into Howe Sound, and you couldn't fish in Howe Sound for 70 years because of the cyanide poisoning. So yeah, it's a bad thing. It's not good.
Yeah. Let's see, from our text line, 478-8298. Trump was totally unhinged at yesterday's press conference. Time for the 25th. The man who wants a space force would never say that.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Also, from our text line, I made a mistake. I said probably Mr. Greensleeves. That's a song. It was Mr. Green Jeans.
Yes, that's right. So, I wasn't going to say anything because I never watched the show.
Well, there you are. So, yeah. Well, thankfully, the listeners are keeping me honest, and I appreciate that very much. Let's see, Shane, from yesterday, we were talking about the minimum wage, and we were talking about, that Montana was going to raise its minimum wage in 2020. We talked about that yesterday. And somebody texted, I don't know what you said, but they said, has Shane completely slipped into the socialist communist ooze, bringing 1984 to life and driving the minimum wage sky high? Craziness. So I'm not sure what they were talking about that you said, or but
I think I made the comment about Bezos not paying them $12 million for insurance for his employees. That's all.
Okay, that could probably be it. The hourly wage should be raised by $1.50 an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been raised over time, and all these cities that want to go to $15 an hour aren't doing it immediately. They're increasing it in steps as to 20, 25 or whatever. So.
What I said now, I remember, it's a 15-cent raise, right?
Yeah.
And I said, what's the point of a 15-cent raise if you're not going to raise it where someone can buy something?
Oh, that's right. That's what you said. Yeah.
What can you buy for 15 cents?
So you have slipped into the communist ooze, huh? Yeah. Socialist ooze.
Yeah. 15 cents over 9 hours is what? $9.35. $1.35. So I guess you can buy a candy bar.
I guess that's true.
Work 9 hours, with a 15-cent raise, you can buy a candy bar. Okay, yeah. I'm wrong.
All right. God save and long live the president. Can we get a lifetime appointment? Well, boy, I think after every president, almost in my lifetime, they wanted to get rid of the term limits on the president. And I guess they don't remember FDR.
Well, and the funniest thing this week was Kamala Harris, wrote a letter to Twitter saying, you should take down his Twitter feed. Well, my God, the company had collapsed.
I was going to say, he's keeping that company in
business.
Yeah, in business just for that very reason. So, yeah. Let's see. You really do not need a video light to figure out that someone was shot in the back. Okay. Well, that was another one that we talked about yesterday, too. That we should have police cameras on everybody and whatever, but you don't need a video to show that the entry room was in the back rather than the front. So, yeah. Question for Pete if he's up early listening. Does hell have a sign and a gate? We talked about yesterday that obviously there's a wall at heaven, the pearly gates. We've heard about them forever. And there's some bearded old man there. Are you good enough to get in? So
yeah, you're going to have to ask the God Squad about that today.
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask about that. Does heaven have a wall? Because we keep hearing about the pearly gates and St. Peter's there waiting to vet you.
Yeah, hell is just a pit you can't climb out of. So there you go. Right?
That's it, yeah. I was going to say, the more you climb, the more it crumbles.
That's
right. Covers you up. All right. Yeah, the pearly pit.
Yeah.
The Berkeley Pit, I guess.
Berkeley Pit.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. All right. Sounds good. Well, in other local news, they're getting serious about The students at Montana State should be able to disagree in a civil way with their instructor or classmates without being labeled disruptive and facing punishment. Heaven forbid. Are we actually going to get to the point where a liberal professor might actually allow a student to say, "Hey, you're wrong, dummy"?
Oh, yeah, you can't say that. Yeah,
so I don't know, man. This is the proposal was presented Wednesday by the MSU Legal Counsel to about 24 campus leaders serving on the university council, and the policy states that the policy on disruptive behavior is not designed to be used as a mean to punish classroom dissent, or dissent rather. The expression of disagreement with the instructor or classmates is not in itself disruptive behavior. So I think if you raise your hand and disagree with the instructor, you'll just get an F, I guess.
Well, but the point of education, even in grade school, K to 12 or whatever, 13, sure, is to challenge who's teaching you and to learn more.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you learn more,
But if somebody comes to, class and brings a fact or something that is different than what the instructor is telling you, shouldn't that be discussed?
Of course it should. That's the whole point of education. Yeah, exactly.
So don't tell me to sit down and shut up, because or go to the office. That's ridiculous. That's right. Climate change is real. Go to the office. Get out of here. Get out of my class.
There you go.
All right. Let's see. Tom, while your melodious voice is perfectly adequate for morning talk, you're no L. Fine. I guess not.
That's very good. Yeah.
Sorry, but I have to go with her for best radio voice. Well, that's okay. Hey, just vote for us for the best morning show then. Actually, hell has a moat. The river Styx. No word on whether there are alligators. So there you are. We're starting our religion early. Yeah. All right, we've got to take a short break here, but it's only going to be a minute. Shane, there's a caller on the line. If you could chat with them, we'll be right back. 8 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, October 3rd, 2019, 32 degrees outside. Looking for a high of 56 today. We got a caller waiting on the line. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good.
Hey, I was speaking to Shane. You guys were talking about heaven and hell.
Yeah.
Where else would you have war, pestilence, and diseases?
Well, I would think so. Yeah, they seem to go hand in hand.
Welcome to hell. You're already screwed up.
Yeah, right. I hear you, man. I hear you.
All right. You guys have a wonderful day.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Don't forget to vote in BozemanMagazine.com for Tom and Shane as the top show in the morning. Top show, period. Yeah, we're just the top show, period. Local radio show. So don't forget to vote for us. BozemanMagazine.com, Bozeman Choice, and get over there and vote. All right. Let's see. The other thing that's happening, Emerson Grill has been sold. It's going to close the end of October. The buyers of the Emerson plan to open a new eatery in the same space. They have had a number of offers over the years from people interested in buying the business, but they weren't ready to sell until now. But they said running the restaurant is difficult and that she's excited to try something new. That's the previous owner, or the owner of the Emerson Grill. And Shane, being in the restaurant business, knows how tough it is, for sure. It ain't no fun, is it? It ain't a picnic. It ain't a walk in the park.
It isn't. And, the statistics are harsh. 50% of all new restaurants close within the first year. The 50% that are left in the second year, 80% close. So, you have to survive 2 years to even be in a number, to move on to success. The biggest mistake a lot of people do make in the restaurant business is you should own the land, because if you're successful and you make a go at it, make it a lifetime job, you want to have something to sell at the end of value.
That's true. Well, I've told the story of Jeff Riggs that runs the well, it was the Wheat Montana restaurant there at 19th and Oak. It's the I can't remember what the name of it is right now, next to the bank. But
right.
Yeah. Jeff was turned down by 11 banks.
Yeah.
11 banks turned him down for this to do this restaurant, and finally the 12th bank said yes. And the sticking point was exactly what you talked about. He wanted the land. He wanted to own the land that the restaurant was on. And now he's got 3 of them, I think. He's got one in Billings and one in Great Falls, I think. So he's traveling all over the place. But, quite a story. I've had him when I was teaching adult ed classes in marketing, advertising, or whatever, and starting businesses. He would come in and tell his story. And it's very inspirational that he sat out under a tree and counted people going in the restaurant and coming out and how many cars were in the parking lot, and did this for weeks at a time while he was going to MSU, figure out this business plan that he was going to present to these banks, and worked out pretty well. So, yeah. So.
Well, yeah, it's first it's food, then it's service, and then it's ambience, right? How comfortable it is. But, those are the 3 things. Yeah.
Yeah. And in other news, the federal prosecutors are taking steps to crack down on elder exploitation in Montana. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Montana will prosecute crimes where $20,000 or more is taken from a senior victim, compared to the prior $100,000 threshold. So I think that's an improvement, because a lot of seniors are taken advantage of by scammers and phone callers and stuff in the, on the internet and all sorts of things, Shane. So,
and regrettably, sometimes their own family.
That's true. Well, that is also true. That so, at any rate. They said that the Department of Justice has made elder exploitation a focal point nationwide because of the high number of senior citizens living in Montana. The state is more vulnerable. This is just going to become a bigger and bigger issue if they don't get behind it. So Rosendale's office, state auditor, reported in May that it received more than 30 reports of suspected exploitation, and they stopped $5 million in problematic transactions. So good for them.
Good on them. Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, it is.
Young and talented Mike McCormick's in the house. We're going to be chatting with Mikey here in just a minute or two. Mike, how you doing?
That was a super short minute. I'm doing great, thanks. Nice to be here, and what a good topic you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Elder fraud is real. It's the real deal. It's something that is despicable, and let's do everything we can to stop it.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Don't give anybody information over the phone.
That's IRS, the main one, is the phone.
Yeah. The IRS is not going to call you. Social Security is not going to call you. No government agency or anybody's going to call you.
And you need to get in the habit of finding somebody that you can ask, hey, what is this? Yeah. And so I get a lot of clients that'll send me things. Hey, I got this in the mail. Is this from you, or what is this?
Yeah.
And it's just gives you pause, right? Don't make a financial decision, snap judgment. Consult somebody you trust.
Sure. Yeah, I get calls all the time, and I always tell a guy, I said, why in the world would I buy or sell a stock to somebody on the phone I don't know? I mean, why would I do that? I mean,
I get you. You're right, Tom. But at the same time, we develop relationships with people, and we develop trust with people in strange ways.
But I'm going to do a local guy that I can go down and get in your face if you screw me over.
You are an intimidating man.
I'm going to come down there and see you.
That will work, right. I know where you are.
That's right. I know where you live.
Well, that is doing business in a small town is great. You see people in the grocery store, and nobody trips you, and nobody and you get drinks bought for you in Belgrade.
And for that very reason, it's more reasonable to assume that you're going to act in my best interest, because I can come and see you and say, hey, what's going on?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. But this day and age, that's hard to do all the time. So people move pretty fast.
Some guy in New York City, what am I going to fly there and
there's some mystique.
Wait in the lobby to see him?
There's always some mystique with somebody with a good Long Island accent saying, "I got a hot tip for you."
That's right, man. All right. All right, we'll be back with Mike McCormick.
No hot tips.
Yeah,
no hot tips.
No hot tips this morning. But boy, we have a mess of the markets. 800 points down, and an anemic Japanese bond sale, and they want to put tariffs on Europe now with whiskey.
Oh, my glass is so half full, Tom. It's practically half full.
All right, we'll be back with Mike McCormick, Shane, and myself right after these important words. Stay tuned.
Mike is a registered investment advisor with McCormick Financial Advisors in Bozeman, Montana. As an independent fiduciary, Mike does not receive commissions from any of the products or investments mentioned on this program. Consult a professional before making any investment decision. You can find old shows archived at McCormickFinancialadvisors.com. Learn, participate, interact.
And the aforementioned Mike McCormick is in the house. How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent.
All right. Shane Matobin on the line with us from Vancouver.
Good morning, Mike.
Hey, up there. Close the window. It's cold down here, will you?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. We've had a caller waiting on the phone, so let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane and Mike McCormick. What's up?
Good morning. Tom, I just wanted to share with you a technique that I have used to eliminate most of those annoying phone calls giving me investment advice.
Okay.
I ask them if I can take out a life insurance policy on their life with me as the beneficiary. And I point out that Uncle Luigi claims I should not lose any money on an investment.
Okay, that'll work.
And it works.
Well, I bet it does. I strongly think they're probably not going to take you up on that, especially if they have to pay the premiums.
No, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. I'll front the premiums if Uncle Luigi's nearby.
That's right.
I can stomach a 1 month expense for the payout.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a good day.
All right.
Thank you, good sir.
Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks for waiting. All right. Well, Mike's in the house. 800 points down 2 days. Japanese bond market sucks. 7.5% Britain or the EU tariff.
Tom, this is the sale.
Oh, okay.
Sales are good things, right? Every once in a while, you have old inventory. You got to get ready for the new inventory. Maybe you're going to the boots. You got to get rid of the running shoes. You got to have a sale.
All right.
We're having a sale.
800 points down.
There is a sale on equities going on.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you what. For one calendar year, 12 months, the S&P has lost over 3%.
Wow.
That's something. This is, people talk about, hey, the longest recovery, longest rally, everybody made all the money there is to make in stocks. Well, guess what? The past year, really, if you go to past 2 years, it has not knocked the stocks off of anything, and there's been a ton of volatility. So I always like to point out, in an efficient thing, if it's risky, you suffer some anxiety and you get rewarded over time. And so that's where we are. We're risky. It's there's plenty of reasons to be pessimistic out there. More information about what's going on in Hong Kong versus China. I'm sure you guys have been hitting on that. That one's real interesting. And then we're putting tariffs on Europe now because, we don't need friends, I guess. So we'll put tariffs on cheese and Bordeaux. And
we're up 24 points.
And the opening is positive because people recognize that, you know what? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is to the point. Shane asked me a while ago. He said, Mike, what are your markers, right? And Shane's got breadth of this whole global economy. Mm-hmm. And my discipline's helping individuals protect and grow their money. So I'm maybe even just a subset of it. But my markers that I keep coming back to are unemployment. Everybody's got a job that wants a job, certainly in this community too. And hopefully you have the job you want. If not, now's probably a good time to be looking at that move. And the other one is we've got a Fed that is accommodative. We've even got a U.S. Treasury that still has the opportunity to do some stimulus. So you've got a government system that wants growth. You've got a consumer base that is making money. Wages are going up. We do have real problems out there. I'm not going to say that this is not a big, significant moment in really global economy. We've got a situation now where we've had 2 decades of McDonald's diplomacy, and now we're saying, whoa, wait a minute. we'll give up the double cheeseburger burger, please, but we don't need you stealing our secrets and undercutting our country, I guess, would be the way to look at it. So I think that now we've got an opportunity for people that are traders to get in the market. We've got an opportunity for people that maybe had surplus cash and they've paid down debt. They boosted their emergency savings. They don't want any more real estate. Plugging your nose and buying a risky asset here, I think will probably reward you. We do have more runs to go. And yeah, everything's not as rosy as it once was. Stock market's very forward looking. All the stock market needs to go up is a promise of something in the future. And there's plenty of ways that the market can deliver on that. The president can deliver on that. The news flow can deliver on that. And yeah, be fearful when others are greedy. I think a great guy named Warren Buffett said that one time too. Mm-hmm. Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy.
All right. Good advice, I think, I would say.
Yeah,
just got to remember, buying low and selling high is the goal.
That's true. Yeah. Well, my wife, of course, is freaking out with her Facebook stock down from 190 or close to 200 down to 174.
It was $19 at one point.
It was, and actually it was $13. I think at one point was the lowest.
So it came out as an IPO in the I think mid low 30s if I recall, and then
something
tanked.
like that. Yeah.
And so there's parallels being drawn to the Uber, the Pelotons. There's been a lot of IPOs this year that have really failed.
Yeah. Well, the Facebook, you had to wait 90 days before you could sell it, I think, because a lot of people in Facebook were paid with stock.
Yeah.
And once the 90 days was up, they cashed out.
Once their gag orders out.
Yeah, they cashed out. That took it down quite a bit.
That's one of the things.
Yeah, because several people became millionaires and went, put their money elsewhere.
The big difference with Facebook is that it was profitable when it made its IPO.
It was profitable, yeah.
These companies like WeWork, not profitable.
No.
And they're crying why they're being...
Amazon didn't make money for the first probably 15 years.
They didn't, but you know what? It's because I was just listening to a great presentation about it on a different news station that
There's another news station? I had no idea.
You don't want to bother about it. And they mentioned that Amazon had one IPO. That was their only fundraising round, and boom, they're done. Whereas something like WeWork or Uber, hey, we're having another party. Come and throw money in the pot. We're doing great. Yeah. And then, Peloton, they make bicycles with TVs connected to them. They won an IPO.
Yeah.
It didn't work out so well for them far, too. They decided they're going to wait. Until they get some money. Well, they came out in a tank. Yeah. But there's risk out there when you look for it. Bonds have outperformed for 12 months again over stocks. Bonds, it's defying logic how expensive bonds are right now. Yeah.
Even at the low rates they are.
Well, that's why it's one of those
they're
seesaw things that gets your mind to explode. But if you're holding bond funds,
they're at least a guaranteed return by the government. So
if it's a treasury, it's guaranteed. If it's FDIC insured, it's guaranteed. If it's by General Electric,
maybe not
guaranteed.
or GM, as we found out during the
not guaranteed. Now all the GM bondholders did get made whole eventually, so there's a lot of fear about what happens with bankruptcies and all that.
Yeah.
And now we're putting concerns out there that maybe capital flows to China might be restricted. Maybe we're going to limit the investments that go to China
and go here or come here.
Well, yeah, I mean that'll be
either or.
We'll take their money, I think, all day long, but our money going to them.
I don't know. They're talking about restricting them being on the exchanges.
Right. So what it is that their public companies typically list here under something called an ADR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that would be, we would limit that, which would limit the ability for U.S. investors to put money into China.
Right.
And one of the theories that I've heard is that, okay, as we're trying to have our tariff strategy work, we're limiting their opportunity to import things that they need. And so capitalists might look at that and say, okay, well, China now needs to develop their own semiconductors. Mm-hmm. Well, let's start a fund that helps China develop its own semiconductors. That's what the goal of this restricting capital is that we want to block that move also.
Right.
And so that we really can try and starve them out a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see how that works. My view on that one is, the voters in China, them. They're not
the ones that don't.
They're not allowed to vote.
Vote 100% for G.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
100%
For lifelong.
Yeah. Those voters.
Right. It's not a fair fight.
Yeah.
Right. You can't have a democracy fighting a communist empire and expect to be able to wait them out. That's my view on it.
Yeah. Well, I think they're willing to wait for, till G's the last guy standing.
Certainly through November, they're willing to wait.
They are willing to wait for that.
And maybe that'll be Trump's rallying call, is that you can't put a softie in office when this thing is working.
Yeah, that's true. From our text line, 478-8298, buy low, sell high, and don't be greedy, and tell the truth. Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah, there you are. All right, we got to take a quick break here because, the Bryan Law Firm wants to talk to you, and, of course, Babel. We can't get through a morning without Babel.
I thought we were handling the Babel ourselves.
We were doing the Babel ourselves, yeah. We'll be right back with Mike McCormick, McCormick Financial Advisors, right after these important words. Stay tuned. All right, 19 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m., Mike McCormick Financial Advisors is in the house. Shaman Taubman, half man, half amazing on the line, and Tom Eagle, your morning mayor. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, which you'll want to vote for at BozemanMagazine.com, Bozeman's Choice. Get over there and vote for us as the best morning show and the personalities and the station for news. And
tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Because the truth will prevail.
The truth will set you free. Like it or not. Well, looking at crude oil down, gold is down. Boy, what else is down? Everything is down.
Boy, oil has been down. That is a tricky one. And California Pension just said we're not investing in fossil fuels anymore. Let's think about the coal demise, right?
Yeah.
Coal as an investment theory is null and void at this point. It's dead. Mm-hmm. Yet the lights that are above us are running off of coal.
Pretty much, yeah.
50%.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
At a minimum. So somewhere, somehow, somebody's still making money doing that, I hope. Mm-hmm. That's the way economies work. Now, could oil get to the same thing, whereas an investment theory, it's not viable? Yet we're still putting in our cars to get to work. I don't know. I don't understand that.
Well, I think everybody thinks about it as being the exhaust coming out of your car. But what about plastic? What about paint? Everything in this room that you can touch has oil in it somewhere. Either made it or it.
Kind of want to take a shower now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're covered in oil smell right now.
Certainly. Sure. So, nobody's denying that value or that industry is going anywhere. But as an investor, when you're looking at demand for something going away, if other pensions do the same thing, if this is a common investment thesis to avoid a whole sector, my fiduciary duty is to help my clients navigate that. And we can even translate this over into more of the climate change movement. And I don't want to get partisan on this, but I think just recognizing that there is a big movement out there saying, if our Earth's climate is increasing, whether because of us or the dinosaurs or whatever, right? If it's increasing, we should invest in companies that are anticipating that and might be able to make changes regarding that. And so there was an ad in the paper for a talk that's going on at MSU. And maybe I'll get you the info and you can put it on there about a talk that's going on at MSU. And it's one of those things where their endowment is looking at going into clean investing. And they're looking at it as an opportunity to make money, not as an opportunity to say, we want to affect social change and make less money. They're looking at it a win-win. We want to affect social change according to how our kids and students and teachers and everybody want us to do it. But we think that there's an opportunity to be proactive and come out as a winner on it. So I'm going to attend that. Again, it's at the Normaz Bjornson Hall. I want to say it's in a week and a half. I'll get you the information about that.
Okay. Yeah, do that. I'm looking here at one of the studies of the International Energy Agency. A wind turbine requires 900 tons of steel, which have to be made with coal because you don't have anything hot enough to melt steel. 2,500 tons of concrete, 45 tons of non-recyclable plastic. And
And
and it needs repair and maintenance and replacement.
We can go.
What can I tell you?
We can go on. We can go on. But looking at coal again, we had the same arguments with coal. We use coal, so why isn't there value in investing in it?
Mm-hmm.
Something dislocated. My concern is that could something like that happen in the energy business too, where there's significantly more investment dollars there right now. They're paying great dividends. These companies, Chevron's paying, I think, over a 4% dividend right now. From a value standpoint, they look very, very attractive. But I'm just wondering if there's not a trap waiting for us at the end of the day when, maybe, I don't know. I don't know where to go on that one.
How much do you think, and this is from one of our texters, 478-8298, if you want to weigh in, it seems that the media reports decline in the market due to impeachment or recession worries rather than normal activity. What do you
Great
question.
Think? Yeah. Great question. Personally, I don't think it. I think it's noise. I do. Mm-hmm. I think that there is always a certain amount of fluctuation in the market that you can attribute to noise, and that's why things like yesterday might have been a buying opportunity. May have been, right? I have to put the asterisks on this. Mm-hmm. At this point in the game, I don't think anybody except for the vice president would like to see the president impeached, because we're going to come up to election soon, right? So it's noise and if
you want him out, vote him out.
Right. That's the system's there, right?
That's
4 years goes by.
That's what it's there for.
4 years goes by really quickly.
That's why they only have them 4 years.
Right.
From our text line 478-8298, Japan is going to clean coal. So, I guess so.
Yeah.
I thought we were too, but
right. I mean, cold fusion also is not really it's still a good theory, but I don't know how they do. I've heard a lot of talking about clean this and clean that, and you can certainly reduce the impact of it.
Well, didn't Governor Schweitzer talk about getting oil from coal?
Right. No, I mean, there's fascinating things you can do, but I think it's kind of like use an analogy to propel your blender in the morning. We're not just there yet.
Yeah, not there yet.
Good technology ideas. But maybe we are. I think clean coal idea is more about just being sensitive on how it's being burnt up. I think it's less to do with we figured out how to get energy out of it without any emissions.
Well, once again, it doesn't seem like people are gravitating to metals like they have in the past.
We don't see any
get a little negative,
Great question, Tom. So for the past decade, my whole industry has been saying, you don't just need stocks and bonds, you need other stuff. Mm-hmm. We call them alternatives. And alternatives are gold and coal.
Silver, and commodities. And
primarily commodities. Real estate is also another one.
Oh, yeah.
And every time we get to a scary point like we are now, we come back to that. Because bonds right now are as scary as stocks to me. The valuations that they have indicate for them to go up, things would have to get really bad. Yeah. And stocks are expensive, real estate, So these alternatives.
There's the yields right there, 159 for the 10 and 208 for the 30.
And that's juicy compared to what's going on over in Europe, where they're getting
negative. In Europe,
they're being charged to hide their money. So you're not being charged to hide your money here. You're just not being paid very much for it. Yeah. Again, over 2% is available to you safely. Bankrate.com is one place where you can shop the short end of the curve, you might say. So money markets, CDs.
Money markets, CDs, whatever.
Yep. Yeah. And I always like you to call your local bank, give them a shot at it, because then, like we said, you get to do business with people that you see.
Yeah, if you're a good investor, they may have something for, or if you're a loyal customer, they may have something for you that isn't generally sold or something.
If you're right. If you're a big customer.
Yeah, if you're a big customer, we'll take care of you.
Right. So we're at the beginning of the fourth quarter right now.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning of the end, right? And we just completed the third quarter, which is the summer, basically.
Yeah, we'll get job reports tomorrow and some other stuff.
And people should recognize that this is typically a slow economic time. People took the summer off. There's not a lot of investing going on.
October was the crash of 29, the crash of 87.
The crash of yesterday,
bad.
right?
Yeah, the crash of yesterday.
Halloween, spooky. So October might be in there, but Santa Claus is right around the corner, and people are flush. So I think that Santa's going to get delivered. just as sure as the snow's going to fly. I think there's more rockiness to come. But, yeah, the impeachment stuff, not as concerned about it. The Hong Kong stuff, I think China, again, plays the long ball on this one, and that they'll sort of seemingly back down to try and keep it quiet. But, you know, the Hong Kong citizens have been used to being under the thumb. They're a long way from a free society. I think that there's a lot of struggle left to happen there. Really fascinating stuff. I am certainly very concerned that the global economy is going to divide into U.S. And maybe not U.S. And I think that right there could be the biggest concern that we're looking at. But over time, there's opportunity out there for sure.
Yeah. This morning, I think they were reporting that people are paying $4,000 more in taxes than they were, $10,000 versus $14,000.
Well, the good news about paying taxes, it means you made money.
That means you made more money if you're
Right.
paying more taxes.
Right.
Normally, you know, if you have a good account.
And if you don't, they're all over town. So give me a call if you want to meet one.
Give me your number.
Oh, my number is 522-3201. You can find me on the interweb. And don't forget to vote for your favorite morning talk show host.
BozemanMagazine.com.
And your favorite morning coffee shop.
That's right.
The Soapbox.
All those. Right.
Best looking. All those things.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Normally we'd have you here for an hour, but we've got another guest coming in. So we'll see you next Thursday for a full hour. I will keep that open.
I will, yeah. And you guys, everybody keep investing. Don't change your thesis. Sit on your hands sometimes. It's the best decision you can make.
All right. Mike McCormick, McCormick Financial Advisors, and Shane and I will be back right after these important words, so stay tuned. 24 minutes before the top of the hour, we are going to hold Mike over. Our guests that were supposed to be here at 7:30 haven't shown yet, so they may be over talking to XL Country. I don't know. But anyway, we'll keep you around until they...
Happy to be on the layover.
Yeah.
Layover on the Soapbox.
Yeah.
We could go deep on that.
Oh, from our text line, sorry, Tom, can't vote for you. Don't want another place to spam me. Well, I was a columnist for Bozeman Magazine for about 10 years, and they're not going to spam you. I can promise you that. In fact, I'm going to have them in here in the next week or so.
Is that right? To vote, do I need to set up a username and log in to vote?
You gotta set up something to vote, but you can cancel after you do it.
Yeah, right. So. And, you know, with these sign-up things, you know, I'm always trying to stay on the cutting edge of cyber privacy.
Yeah.
I mean, we have sensitive information that we only use secure servers and encryptions for, but we also just need to be good stewards and advisors to our clients on how do you keep your identity safe. You know, on a lot of these things, one-time use, and I'm not saying that you should do this with Bozeman Magazine because they're, of course, trusted local people. Yeah. But you can put a fake stuff in there.
Oh, you can, sure.
And get through the gatekeeper door. Yeah. And then also a great tip out there is that when you're setting up an account, let's say I just set up an account with Hilton the other day. I don't do a lot of travel, but we're finding that we're doing a bit more.
I have one, too, with the hotel.
And they're always like, you know, if it's $20 off for 2 nights, $40 to get an account, and you might go back there, why not? Okay. Yeah. And you get to cancel for free and et cetera. Well, come up with usernames that are not your name.
Right.
That's another whole layer of security out there. If your username is your name or your email, if you have another option, you can have the username be something that might be like a password. Of course, you have to have it easy to remember. The trick for easy to remember is write it out. Easy to remember. E becomes a 3. The R becomes a capital R. You have easy to remember. There's a password for you.
Yeah. I always make my password the word incorrect, and that way if I put the wrong password in, it'll say your password is incorrect.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yeah.
Dang.
Pretty cool. So, wonderful way to do it. So.
Oh boy! Now we've got.
So vote for us because they're not going to spam you. They aren't. I promise you. They're not going to spam you with stuff.
Just good information about what's going on in the community.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Yeah. Well, they have a newsletter, but you don't have to sign up for that. You know, to vote. So
someday I measure my productivity by how many things I unsubscribe from.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know, if you start getting things, just unsubscribe from it, you know, and say, hey, I'm done. So
moving on.
Yeah.
Cleaning house.
But they're nice folks over there. They're not going to spam you. They're not going to give you a bunch of stuff. So
And
in fact, I think they even say that when you sign up. They tell you that we're not gonna do anything.
And think about the downside that you would see people winning a contest that weren't the actual winners because you didn't race.
Yeah,
everybody needs to race.
Well, sure,
it's racing season.
Well, of course,
right.
So there we go. All right, we're going to take a break and come back with Mike, or we'll see if the folks.
If I'm here, I'm going to talk about. If I'm going to talk about how to finance your winter activities: ski pass, ski gear, ski vacation, hockey. We're going to get real on that.
We got to do that. All right, we'll be right back with more with Mike or our other guests right after this. Welcome back, everyone. 18 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, October 3rd, 2019, 34 degrees outside. Shane and Tom and half man, half amazing on the line with me and Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox. And we want to welcome Darcy Minter and Kris Spect to our microphones. How you doing this morning?
Very good, thank you.
Good. Why are you here?
Good question. It's very early.
I wrote down barn dance. What's going on?
All right. Well, we are with Windhorse Equine Learning, which is a nonprofit here in Bozeman, and we are having a barn dance this Saturday. So this is a fundraiser to benefit our programs.
Okay.
And it is called Kick Up Your Heels for Kids, and it's at Foster Creek Farm, which is north of Belgrade. It's a beautiful place. It is for families, so we start early at 4 o'clock and we end around 9:30. We've got Little Jane and the Pistol Whips, fantastic band from Livingston, actually.
All right. Well, Livingston folks probably familiar with them.
They are all invited. We serve a lot of kids from Park County, too.
Okay. And well, let's talk a little bit about your program, first of all, so people have an idea of what's going on with that. So what's up with that?
What do we do? Well, we work with kids, and we empower kids through hands-on learning experiences with horses. Okay. So kids do get to ride, but we are not primarily a riding program. We are teaching life skills. So leadership.
Take care of the horses, things like that.
Responsibility.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Trust, empathy, things that horses are really good at teaching, believe it or not.
All right.
And confidence is something that kids really gain a lot of when they are in our programs.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah. All right. So this barn dance, 7 o'clock. Where is it? What time and all of that?
4 o'clock.
Actually, it starts at 4 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday, so it goes
a little
from 4.
closer to that.
Sorry.
You could pull
so
it up where you're comfortable.
Yeah, I will be working the registration table, so you'll see my face when you first get there. And we start at 4, and we've got so many fun things going on.
And where is it?
We will be at Foster Creek, which is just on the north side of Barneveld.
Okay.
Or Belgrade. What did you say?
I don't know.
I was in Wisconsin this weekend.
I thought it was a street. I wasn't sure. So.
Oh, funny.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll be just outside of Belgrade.
Okay.
And we'll be there.
Is that on the frontage road or off the frontage road?
It's off Dry Creek. Tyson.
Okay.
So up in there, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. We're going to have games outside for the kids if the weather works for us.
Okay.
We're going to have the fire pit going, so we'll have s'mores, adult stuff on the inside, kids stuff on the outside. So it'll be fun for everyone, kids of all ages.
Yeah, sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
How long is it going to last? And you got the band there too, so I'm assuming there'll be dancing or whatever.
Yeah, we're even going to do some dance lessons.
Oh, really?
So that's where the barn dance comes in.
Dancing
We're going to do some
or
line
something like
dancing.
that.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Big Sky, just a shout out to Big Sky Dance Sport because they're coming and donating their services to teach people how to dance.
Okay.
People who don't know, like me, for example.
Yeah. Unless you're born here, I think you have to learn to line dance.
Exactly.
I think you're born with it if you're here.
Yeah.
Exactly. It'll be a fun time, and then we go usually until 9 or 9:30. Being a kids event, we don't go real late. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Okay.
We have a live auction and a silent auction with lots of terrific stuff, both horse related and not. We've got art, we've got experiences that people can bid on that are super fun. So
lots of gift cards, massage gift cards. Who doesn't love those?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Lots of good stuff. Lots of jewelry. Women will want to come out for the jewelry. We've got a lot of good donations there too.
Okay, well, good. Well, it sounds like you guys got your ducks all in a row for this thing. So hopefully. Have you done this before? Is this the first time?
This is our second annual barn dance. We are a pretty young organization. We've been around about 7 years.
Okay, so.
And we just moved into our own facility. So we've been sort of moving around from between barns. Mm-hmm. And we have our own place now, and we invite people to come out. It's on Johnson Road in the corner of Johnson and Chapman in South Bozeman.
Okay.
And so we've got everything in one place now, which is really nice.
Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Once again, this is going to be this Saturday, and location again is
Foster Creek Farms.
Okay, off Dry Creek and
Tyson. Yeah, it's actually Foster Creek Road, which is off of Tyson, which is off of Dry Creek.
Okay. Well.
Or you just go out to our website.
Okay.
And you get all the information. Right
what is the website?
It is Windhorse Equine Learning. You can
.org.
And you can Google any of those to find it.
Okay.
It'll have information about our organization as well as information about the barn dance.
Okay. And it starts at 4:30, and the band again is
Little Jane and the Pistol Whips.
Okay, from Livingston. And,
yes,
that
they're
should be
so much fun.
That should be a fun event. Well, thank you both for coming in. I really appreciate
knowing
about this,
us.
And we're happy to put it out, and hopefully people can find out more about what you do when they go out there, and
exactly.
Maybe for their own little siblings, they may say, "Hey, this might be a good idea to teach my kid a little responsibility and a little whatever, taking care of these animals and things." So, so that's great.
Yeah, it's a good cause.
All right, thank you much, ladies. I appreciate it. Again, Darcy Minter and Kris Spect are here, and don't forget Saturday night, 4:30.
Thank you.
Barn dance.
Thank you.
Go for it. All right. We'll be right back with more right after this. All right, welcome back, everyone. It is Thursday, October 3rd, 2019, 34 degrees outside. Shane Tobin on the line with me. Oh, my gosh, what a beautiful day we're going to have today. 56 will be the high. I can't wait. How about you, Shane?
Indeed. It should be another nice October day.
Let's hope. Okay. Shane's going to do a market report for us. Mike had to leave. We got a question. I'll try and leave it on our chat line here until he returns. But he was wondering, does Bozeman have municipal bonds that we can invest in locally? I'll text Mike and see if we can find that out maybe before the end of the show. So if you want to hang around, or if you can. If not, all of our shows are recorded, so you'll get the answer ASAP. So
there you go.
All right. So market report.
Okay, well, we're at Dow's down 27. It's at 26.49, close to that $2,500 mark, or 2,500 mark. And concern here now is the last 2 days. If there isn't a dead cat bounce here, meaning within the next hour, if the market doesn't reverse and go up and respond to that, then the sell-off will continue. The Japanese trade is off, and I think that's where most of the selling is coming from because of their quantum eating problem with their debt. I'm really concerned about several issues. 2 stocks I think everybody should be watching right now. Wells Fargo, 48.47. The reason for that is they're now reaching over $20 billion in energy loans, mostly to gas and oil producers, and I'll get to that in a minute. The other stock people should be watching as a clear indication of the market is Ford. It's been downgraded by Moody's, so the Ford stock price is being affected because they have $154 billion US in dollar debt. And Ford, if you recall, back in 07 or 08, covered themselves because in 07 they renegotiated their debt with their banking, and they were the one company that, of course, didn't get slammed in the 07-08 issue because of that. But today, even though Ford Motor Company, they $160 billion in revenue, second largest producer of cars, they have 200,000 employees. Their assets are only $256 billion, and so sitting on that kind of debt, where you're 50-50 isn't looking good. They're downgraded by Moody's. One more downgrade and they junk bond. So that's a given concern. Ford is trading at 861. So watch Ford and Wells Fargo. Now, why? Well, here's the problem. Here's the dilemma. Here's the warning. What we're looking at, folks, in the market overall is that in the commodities market, if you're looking at the price of oil and gas, you need to be concerned. And the reason you need to be concerned is because, yes, the U.S. is producing a massive amount of oil and gas. But the difficulty you have with it is that no one's producing it at a profit. No one's making any money. The 5 largest gas fields from fracking in the United States have a minimum cost of, like over $3 per million cubic feet. And gas is, selling at less than $3. Oil is, down to, low 50s. And the fracking oil your country's producing is like the cost to produce is over $65 a barrel. So the whole reality I've looked at now because of what happened with this attack by Iran on Saudi Arabia was that the price of oil did not jump. A lot of guys in the United States running oil industry would like to see the oil back to $75 to $100 a barrel, but right now, you dumped $7 trillion into the sand in the last 20 years in military spending, and a lot of the money coming home is being reinvested into the ground, and it's not profitable. So this is a big black swan, and we hate to talk about it that way, but that's what we got to look at.
Yeah, oil is not going anywhere anytime soon, no matter how much the new Green Deal wants to get rid of it. It's just there are just too many. There are just too many tentacles to, chop them off.
The whole world exists on it. I mean, it's the major commodity in the world. We've talked about this, but with oil at $51.
Yeah.
And Brent at 56. The problem you have with Brent at $56, $57 a barrel, Iran, Venezuela, and of course Russia, 3 other major producers don't sell or settle with U.S. dollars on oil. They actually sell it on Brent, and settle it with euros. And so that also is a cause for alarm too. And I just think that these are the kinds of things you should look at when the market's correcting like it is. And of course, the whole issue is covered by Trump because, the Democrats, we want a recession to defeat him. So now if it happens, he's got, once again, they've set themselves up for the fall.
Yeah.
But, it still doesn't help people. So watch Wells Fargo, watch Ford, and see what happens there. Those just, if you're concerned about the market, those are 2 markers that I think are fair weather game for you to keep track of.
Yeah. Well,
and a final thing about the update I want to mention.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's important. The euro is now $1.09. This is the 3rd time it's in the last 6 months it's dropped under $1.10 to the U.S. And yesterday it traded as low as 108. So the euro is now moving towards the U.S. dollar in equal value. That sets apart the value and the difference on Brent and U.S. Oil prices, as mentioned. So that becomes critical. This has nothing to do with tariffs or trade. This just has to do with oil. So this is it could be a game changer, Tom. We'll see what happens.
Well, very seriously, there's so many things going on, though, Shane, that are affecting the markets. We've got this impeachment thing. We've got the markets fluctuating. We've got another tariff plan for the EU, and I'm not sure why we're tariffing the EU all of a sudden. It seems like we'd want to open partnerships over there and not hit them with wine and whiskey and cheese and tools and whatever else. I forget the 5 or 6 things that. It's only 7.5%, I think, tariff. So it's not
Well, the other big news this week no one's talking about is the World Trade Organization, the U.S. scored a win with it because they're complaining with Europe, and because Europe subsidizes so many industries, the same as China.
Sure.
So the U.S. doesn't because, you're a pure capitalist system. Yeah. And this is a cause for concern for everybody.
Yeah. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
long ago, Kurt Vonnegut, a writer that you might know, he said America's hopelessly, deeply addicted to oil. I've got another hopelessly, deeply addicted nature of America. It's to military spending. The Republicans who say we got to tighten our belt, they can't tighten their belt on military spending. Even though the United States talks big, I think there's a deep fear that they're going to be attacked. Here all these big ships and planes are being built, but we may be attacked, but it'd be like little gnats throwing bombs at us a small time. It doesn't seem that these big countries would attack us very easily.
Well, I don't know. China's got a bomb or a missile that's supposed to be able to hit us in 30 minutes. So I don't know why they would have a weapon like that, other than I would hope it's a retaliatory weapon, not a opening shot.
Jimmy Carter pointed out that China has not spent a lot on actual war, maybe military equipment, and they have the state-of-the-art infrastructure and subways and railways, and so they've gone a different direction in the United States. The United States' infrastructure is sagging and in poor shape, and China's in glistening shape.
Yeah. Well, they're having a problem, certainly. So, but at any rate, we got to go, Dan. I'm sorry, we're up against the top of the hour, so we'll talk again. Thanks for the call. All right. God Squad should be in the house, hopefully, so we'll check and see if they're back there somewhere, and if not, Shane and I'll rock on, because it's Thursday. All right, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. Stop that. We've already had the weather. Shane, what's going on?
Well, I have to comment, just so our listeners know, over the break, less than 5 minutes, the Dow's now down 292 to 25,788. So no dead cat bounce. This is a sell-off, and this trend may continue. Got to keep a watch on it. Just wanted to let everyone know. God Squad, welcome to the house. You want to ask him about the wall in heaven, Tom?
Oh, that's right. We should ask about that. We had a discussion the other day of does heaven have a wall? And ever since I was a little kid, we heard about the pearly gates, and St. Peter is there vetting you to get in or not. Does anybody want to comment on does heaven have a wall and the pearly gates, or what?
I've never been there. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's all the postcards say they do, but
what do you ever notice though? The postcards, any picture, as I'm trying to remember pictures, there's these pearly gates,
right? Yeah.
But they don't seem to be attached to any walls.
Yeah, they're just kind of sitting
there. They're just sitting there in the clouds or something.
Yeah, that's where you. Yeah, that's where you end. I guess the terrain around it is not passable, apparently. Maybe the wall's not necessary. I don't know.
Not really sure if there's a wall there, Tom, but I'm sure that you'll be there one day.
Well, I'll let you guys know, because I'll probably be there first. So I will. I'll be sure.
Well, now, so report back to us if there's a wall.
I will. I will.
You get there first.
I will make it a point to come back and haunt you all, and make sure that we've got that there. Let's see. We've got a caller on the line. Let's see if it's a religious call or if we're still talking national stuff. Caller, you on the air? What's going on?
Well, this is Clint.
Yeah, Clint.
And I'm talking
Good morning,
to the God Squad.
Yes, you are.
Well, what I want to say is it's about our jail.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that have something to do with religion?
Well, Well, Jesus says, whatever Caesar's, give it to Caesar, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if the county commissioners are Caesar or not.
Well.
But here's what I want to say.
Yeah, go for it.
I've talked to a lot of the farmers and ranchers out here about this jail, this new jail they want.
We just got a new jail. We don't need a jail.
Not a jail, but a new law and justice center.
Law and Justice Center. This really doesn't have much to do with religion, though, Clint.
Well, no, it doesn't, but I want to say this, and then I'll get the hell off the air.
All right.
But the thing I want to say is this here. The county commissioners are on the television.
They'll be in tomorrow.
Yep.
At 8.
Yep. Well, and tell Don Seifert how I feel.
Okay.
But I like Don. He's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
But
real quick, finish up.
But anyway, what I want to say is this. Let us not vote at all on this new Law and Justice Center until the new Safety Center is built down on 19th and the police department and their judges move out of the Law and Justice Center, and let us see then how much room we have. We have that big gymnasium there.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
full of crap.
We get the point. So.
Okay. The point is, I want people to think real hard before they raise their taxes another $80 or $90 a year.
All right.
So that's what I wanted to say, and I like listening to the God Squad too.
Well, good. Well, we'll give them a chance to get started here.
Well, anyway,
hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I kind of interrupted your thing, but I wanted to say that this morning because I've seen it on the TV and I didn't like it.
All right. All right. Well, so much for, law and justice. We all like that, right? Whether or not we need a new building for it or not, it's a whole other story, but that's not why we're here. One of the things that I mentioned to you all, and I should mention Rabbi Ed is here, and we've also got Rachel Allen, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. She's the director of, I can't read my own writing.
Public Affairs.
Public Affairs. I should have written that better, huh? Okay. And, of course, Father Leo, our two standbys and our member of the congregation, I should say, are here. So I wanted to ask you guys about church membership. That, when I was a kid, we went Sunday night, we went Wednesday, we went Bible camp in the summer. It seemed like in our little town, religion was a way of life. You were just, if you didn't go to church, the pastor sent you a get well card. Because if you weren't there, you had to be sick or something. So anybody want to comment on what are you guys doing to increase membership, or how do you generate? Because obviously I became religious through my family attending church. And that's just what you did. And you carry that on through your family to your own children. And so it seems like it'd be a no-brainer that this would just keep going, but it seems like we've slowed down somewhat.
Well, so we've slowed down dramatically. There's just a year or two ago, the Pew Research Center came out with a major study that showed virtually every religion is losing membership like crazy. Mm-hmm. The Catholic Church is maybe a little different because while they're losing lots of members, they also have new Hispanics who are Spanish. That's sort of evening out. I'm sure Father Leo could speak more to that. Mm-hmm. But in synagogues, we're losing folks, and most of the mainline Protestant churches are losing folks. It's a complicated question, and there are many factors. But we live in a country now, in a society where we're much more go it alone, and we're much more. I can do this on my own. I don't need this community. And if I need community, by the way, I could join the ski club. I can join the movie club or whatever else it is. And there's what religion offers ultimately is thousands of years of experience of trying to understand who we are and what we are and who is God, what is God. and beginning in my tradition 3,000 years ago, in the Christian tradition 2,000 years ago. And much like if you were to become a doctor, you wouldn't just say, I'm a healer, I'm going to heal you. You'd want to know, what about the doctors who've become before you for these last 1,000 years? What have they discovered? What relevant teachings can they offer us? But we live in a world where many more people are saying, okay, I don't need that. I can figure it out on my own. I'm smart. All that stuff is old and outdated. And so then we try to make it relevant in response to that. And then what happens is, as soon as you put it in modern circumstances, and as soon as you say that Judaism teaches or Christianity teaches that we shouldn't be putting kids in cages at the border, then it's, oh, you're being political. Mm-hmm. And that's the flip side of it. If you try to make it relevant, then you're suddenly political, and that's bad too. And so we're caught in this dilemma, I think, of how do we operate in a world that's highly individualistic, I would say even highly narcissistic, and where people don't care about so much the teachings of that our faith traditions have developed over centuries.
Are people gravitating from religion to political parties because there's more camaraderie there? Calm down, Jay.
All right.
I think
mute your coughs.
I'm trying to.
I think the people are gravitating from religion to other sorts of communities, and political communities is one. Right. But it's only one. There's there's sports communities, there's drinking communities, there's all sorts of ways you can find community today.
Well, we seem to be pulled in so many different directions because there's 24/7 500 channels of everything we can listen to. We have more free time with dishwashers and clothes washers and all the things that we used to have to do by hand and take time with, and we have.
That's another important point, Tom. We've trained people to be wanting to be entertained, and oftentimes religion and church is not entertaining. It's not its purpose.
It's where we go to absorb our guilt, and we don't, it's particularly. And I got to go in. If I'm Catholic, I've got to go in to talk to this guy about all the bad things I did this week.
Or about how can I do better? How can I be a better person?
True. Yeah.
But people are a lot of people are trained to want entertainment.
Yeah.
And so you see a lot of churches now that have changed the music to rock bands and stuff like this,
right?
Because they want to be entertained, and that's a function of us training people, not the religions, but our society training people that everything should be entertainment.
I think another part of the it's a very complex situation because there are so many pieces to it. There are so many factors.
Right.
I think another factor is simply the fact that in today's world there is so much. I'm of the age that if you needed something or you needed to find out something, you went to the library, you went to an encyclopedia, you looked it up somehow,
right.
And you got the information that you wanted on the page. Today, if you want something, you Google it, and you get 1 million hits. Now, there's no possible way you're going to look at all 1 million of those hits. And I think part of what is happening societally and sociologically in our world is that there is so much information and there's so much stuff going on out there, and it's going on so fast. People are pulling back from that because it's like a tsunami. You can't handle that much. It's the old idea. You can't take a drink of water out of a fire hose, right. But you can out of a garden hose. There's too much information coming at people too fast. And so what they're doing is withdrawing. And with that withdrawal, they withdraw from everything. People would rather stay home and watch whatever they want on television or stream whatever they want on the internet. And they're not interested in, again, part of what religion is about is let's stop or slow down at least and reflect on something. That's not a very popular idea nowadays. It's like, no, let's just get the next piece of information. Let's just keep going. Let's go as fast as we can. That's sort of I think one of the problems that why people are not participating so much in religious ideas and religious groups.
Okay. We've got to take a break. We'll hear from Rachel when we come back because she's been taking notes, and I know she's ready to rock and roll on this topic. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more right after this. 22 minutes after the hour, we were just talking about how religious are we. Shane is quite religious. Shane, do you go to church?
Yes, I do. I'm very committed to it. And the concern I have with it on a global basis and the left socialist view of this is secularism. And to me, that's the biggest cause of this. And the demolition party in your country is a secular, it's a secular party. They don't want to have anything to do with religion as far as I'm concerned. When I hear Nancy Pelosi get on TV and say, "Oh, we have to pray for our country," this is really a dark time. She doesn't mean it. And, they turn their back on religion and, as far as I'm concerned, academia does. So there it is. One word, secularism.
Okay. Rachel, we were waiting for you with bated breath. What's your thoughts on church growth?
Well, I would have to tell you that my experience, and I can't speak globally, I think it's
sure.
true that people are leaving their faith traditions and generally. But here in Bozeman, I think the community is not experiencing a significant loss, or at least my community.
I think smaller communities are more what should I say, homogenized
resilient?
Or whatever, or resilient or together. They're all in the same boat, where in a bigger city, this group's over here and this group's over here.
But I will tell you that, so the way that my faith works, we have kind of a central group of leadership that resides in Salt Lake City. And we have separate congregations that stretch out across the world.
You're sort of the Pope Part 2 or 2.0 or something.
And what has been done recently, in fact, just about a year ago, there was a decision to adjust our focus in that traditionally our faith has been a very church-centered, home-supported faith, where we would spend 3 hours a week on Sundays in church, and we would go to Sunday school. We would meet as adults and children. We would meet all together in a traditional sermon, and then we would also separate into groups of primarily men and women groups. And that still happens, but now we only meet 2 hours, and we have been given a curriculum to work on at home. And so now we are, the church is focusing on more of a home-centered, church-supported curriculum, where we encourage discussion around our kitchen table, like you were saying, that we go to church together, we talk about our faith at home. And I think that is something that, as a parent of young kids, I have 4 little kids at home, and it's something that doesn't come naturally to me. And I think my generation wasn't raised with. We just expected church to be taken care of in our meeting houses. And I think it's our responsibility as parents to raise up a generation of faith kids, faith families, and families that have gospel discussions as part of the regular back and forth.
Yeah. How much do the TV evangelists, Joel Osteen and the Crystal Cathedral and everything, do we look at that and see all these people that are, passing out money right and left, and he lives very lavishly, or whoever? Do we see that as religion being, there used to be a traveling evangelists that traveled the country, and that's where Prohibition came from, was the women didn't want the husbands drinking, and these evangelists all came to town. And so the nationwide, that effect, the women said, hey, no more drinking, and that's where Prohibition came from. So the power of religion and that going from town to town had its effect. But I'm wondering, do people gravitate away from religion because they're seeing it as this scam that is being perpetrated on them just for money, for whatever the church decides to use the money for.
Well, I think there's always been the argument about how churches are always asking for money, and
Right.
and that seems to be one of the big things. You never get together without a collection and all of that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I think with the rise of some of these multi-billion-dollar religious organizations that are very, very lavish, some of that I think gets people pretty upset. But I think the one that the motivation with most people is they don't, today particularly, people don't like any kind of restrictions. For them, freedom means I can do whatever I want. And when the churches gather together and say, our tradition has always said, you shouldn't do this, or you can't do this, and it's like, even if we sort of soft pedal that, it is a central part of what our religious traditions are about, that God has revealed to us that there are things you're not supposed to do. That's all. And it's like, and I think for a lot of people, it's like, no, I don't like that. I don't like anybody telling me what I'm not supposed to do. Now, again, it depends upon the level of emphasis that you give to any of those things. I mean, there are the hellfire and brimstone churches where that's all that you hear. There is another whole side of the coin that in our tradition, the Christian tradition, Christ didn't say very often at all, don't do this and don't do that and don't do this. He kept saying, this is who you are and this is what I'm asking you to do. So it was a much more of a positive and let's get out there and do things that are helpful to the world, because we're capable of doing that. We have the potential to be able to do that. Well, that oftentimes doesn't get emphasized.
All right.
So and then that I think makes religion less interesting or whatever to people.
Okay, yeah. Well, it was Moses with those 10 commandments. You got to blame it on him. And well, you got like 680 commandments, I think, or something like that.
613.
Okay, well.
613.
All right. We'll be
Please
back.
don't be
We'll be back at the rabbi. I'll list all those when we come back after this. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. Welcome to the God Squad portion of our monthly little get-together. We'll have you guys back again at the end of the month. I guess we got 5 Thursdays here, so we'll get you the last Thursday of the month too, I guess, or fourth Thursday or whatever it is that you guys come in on. So anyway, I'll be here. I hope I'm here. You guys show up. Also, I need to mention that we are up for Bozeman Magazine Choice. We are in there for, and let me tell you here real quick. We are there for, let's see. We are there for Bozeman's Choice, favorite local celebrity. That would, of course, be me. Local news source, KMMS. Local DJ, that would be Tom and Shane. The local radio show would be this show, the Morning Soapbox. A local radio station would, of course, be our radio station. And I'm also in there for the most luscious local radio voice. Luscious. I am the most luscious. I'm in that group. So, what do you think? I'm
not going to touch it.
You're not going to touch that?
No.
Well, you can vote for the best show then, because you're on it.
Okay.
I mean, you're on it.
Good.
I mean, you guys make it the best show. So come on, you're part of the team
That's
here.
right.
So,
That's
so
right. All right.
without you guys, the show would be horrible. Who knows? So, all right. Well, if you just joined us, we're talking with Rabbi Ed. We're talking with Rachel Allen, who's the director of public public affairs. I'll get it in a minute. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Father Leo, of course, and our God Squad folks are in the house. We're talking about religion and how do we bring more people into the fold, I should say, is what our conversation is, and we've kind of talked about it both ways. But from our text line, let's see. Well, somebody thinks I'm bootylicious, I guess. Okay, so that's good. With all due respect, the rabbi is wrong. The real reason church membership is declining is because of the hypocrisy within all churches and synagogues. For example, a rabbi votes Democrat, even though the values of the left are not in line with what the Torah teaches. So, get real. Why, Rabbi?
Well,
why do you?
So I think that by and large, the values of the Torah are more in line with the values of the Democratic Party than the Republican Party, overwhelmingly. I'd be happy to have to go over a list of dozens of examples with if the texter wants to call. But justice you shall pursue, says the prophet. We the entire theme of the Hebrew Bible, the most repeated verse, repeated 36 times, says, you know what it's like to be oppressed. You were oppressed in Egypt. You were strangers, and you must never oppress others, especially strangers, meaning immigrants and people who are other. If that is, obvious, the overwhelming theme. By the way, Jesus then picks up on that theme, and it's one of the two great commandments of Jesus. So it's not any different than Christianity. And, if we just talk about the immigration issue for one and look at where the political parties are on that, that's a clear issue where the Torah would absolutely condemn putting children in cages at the border and many of the other immigration parties.
I can't believe you just said that. Why are you saying that?
Because it's true.
That is just wrong. No, that's wrong. You know it. Everyone knows it. Obama started that policy. When Trump found out about it, he stopped that policy. You shouldn't be saying something about that. And I can't believe you just defended the Democratic Party when FDR sent the St. Louis back, when Jews were being crucified, destroyed, and he turned that boat around and those people went back to concentration camps.
You're absolutely right. I would condemn FDR for that. And
slavery, Jim Crow laws, subversion of black people, and you're sitting there as a rabbi defending it and saying that the Democratic Party is righteous. That's just unbelievable to hear from you. No wonder people don't go to your synagogue.
So Shane,
no, you're upsetting.
Well, hang on, Shane. Let him respond.
FDR was wrong, and I don't care whether he was on that question. I don't care whether he was a Democrat or Republican. It was horrible. And I totally condemn him.
What about Jesse Owens?
It's another example. Look, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have changed over time. They're not static entities. When I refer to it, I was referring to what's going on today, not what happened 100 years ago. As a matter of fact, the Republicans and Democrats did a big swap as to who they were. That happened mainly under Nixon. So there's been a big change. It's not like the Democrats and Republicans have been the same static entities for hundreds of years. They're not.
They have.
And I would
be the Great Society destroyed the African American home. They have subjugated the black person in your country from the very beginning. And give me the list. I want to hear this list you have of why you're a Democrat. Just give me two. Give me two.
Well, I've just given you one with immigration. Right.
Yeah, right. Immigration. The U.S. provides the most legal immigration in the world. In fact, you have to take the next 10 countries to equal the 1.2 million people the U.S. welcomes every year legally.
So long as they're not Muslims or brown or black.
That's not true.
That's we can debate. We could debate the facts if you like, Shane, but that is true. That's one issue. But the other issue is. How the Torah treats wealth. So wealth is something that the Torah would never stand for the kind of wealth accumulation we have in the United States. It requires that periodically, every 7 years, there be this massive redistribution of wealth. Jesus talks about when he overturns the money changers.
Slow down. Let me respond to that. You're saying then the success of the Jewish state of Israel predicated on successful business and wealth with the largest GNP of any Middle East country is wrong? Is that what you just said?
No, I didn't say that. I said the excessive accumulation of wealth in particular individuals is something that's condemned by the Torah. I didn't say there's no capitalism is fine. Capitalism is a great system, but it can also be taken to extremes, and the Torah recognizes that and requires adjustments so that we don't end up with 0.1% of the population with 30% of the wealth. That's another Torah principle that is more consistent with the policies of Democrats. But look, I'm not saying that every Democratic policy is right and every Republican policy is wrong. That's not what I was trying to say. I said, as a general rule.
Yeah, but the wealthiest people in your country are Democrats.
Really?
Yeah. Look.
Well, if you look at the donors, they are. The top
Facebook,
10, at least 8 of them are Democrats.
Yeah, give me a break.
I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans. I think it's the accumulation of wealth, massive wealth, and a handful of people is wrong. And I don't care if it's Democrat, who they are.
Got to take a break. We'll be right back, and I'll address the wealth issue when we come back, right after this. All right, welcome back, everyone. It is we're having a spare discussion here. We're going to have to take a break in another 3 minutes. Shane Matobin on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. Tommy Goff, your morning mayor. And we've got Rabbi Ed. We've got Rachel Allen, who is the Director of Public Affairs for the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. Father Leo is in the house, and well, we've kind of gotten away from our topic of growing the church. So maybe we should go back to that a little bit. And some of the things that we've discussed here, the differences of opinions, I think if we tend to gravitate to people who think the same way we do. And that should be the same way, I think, in the church. Now, you can't preach from the pulpit. You can't preach politics from the pulpit, in America at least. But I think there are probably some people who do. But are we using the same standards that we pick our friends and associates? And if we don't see that in our local clergy, do we reject them for that reason?
That's right. I understand the question.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay. Well, okay. All hunters and fishermen bond together, golfers, bowlers. So if whatever your ideology is, if you don't receive that ideology, in other words, if I'm a hunter, I like my church because there's a lot of hunters there. Mm-hmm. So, and we can talk after the service or go out to lunch or whatever. So is it the fact that the church is a foreign from what we surround ourselves with, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, I think you've identified something that's important there, and that is that we want to be affirmed. So now, just as an example, as a rabbi, I've had 8 years of rabbinical training. I can read the Torah in Hebrew. I understand the commentaries that have gone on for thousands of years. And I believe that it requires us to act certain ways in today's society. Shane disagrees with me. Okay? He's entitled to. Whether he can read the Torah in Hebrew or not. But if he's coming to my synagogue, he says, I don't agree with you, Rabbi. I'm not coming back. Right? And so basically, either I'm going to preach what he agrees with, or I'm going to lose a member, right? And that's
kind of the issue that I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side, if I were to come down the other way on the same issue, and say it's totally okay to do this, for example, Shane would stay, but somebody else would leave. And so our allegiances that at one point were to the community that the church or the synagogue involved have shifted, and the political piece is only one piece. As you said, it could be hunters, right? I'm a hunter. I haven't hunted in a few years now, but I have hunted.
Sure.
And
but you feel comfortable talking about people with rifles and scopes and
absolutely
things like that, or hunting areas,
and you know,
and you might go to church because you know those people are going to be there.
That's right. And so yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
Sorry, I would say that I don't go to church to talk about hunting.
Well, no, but
I go to church to learn about what God wants me to do here on earth.
But you probably converse with people who are there who have similar interests to you.
I would say maybe, perhaps.
I mean, not everybody in a church is a hunter or a fisherman or
but
whatever.
I would say I do have friends at my church that do hunt.
Yeah.
I can talk with them, but that's true of my social standing outside of church too.
Sure. Yeah.
I think we go to church to learn about
reason
God.
you go, sure, is to because of the
So if I could jump in here, when I first came to Bozeman 13 years ago as the rabbi, the very first question I got from a congregant about what God wants of us was from a fisherman. And he wanted to know what God would think in Jewish tradition about catch and release fishing, which harms the fish.
Yeah.
Right? Is that okay? And he's been fishing. He's like maybe the most avid fisherman I'd ever met. And that was an important question. So you can't necessarily separate what does God want from us from fishing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, whatever way you come down on the question, and it doesn't matter.
True. Yeah, I can't catch and release the elk. I don't think. So. But I got to take another break real quick. We got to get the Rush update in here, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. 3 minutes for the top of the hour. We've been having a spirited discussion here regarding our religion, and politics are always. Yeah, those are the two things you don't want to talk about around the Thanksgiving table. That's so we've been told anyway, because we all have different views. We were talking a little bit about social media, and have some people replaced their faith in religion with their political affiliation? Do you think have we? Because social media is there every day. It's 24/7. You can get on and you can say, I like this, I like that, or I don't like this, or I don't like that.
Well, even in our break, this last break, we were talking a little bit about that there seems to be that in this particular age that we're in, politics seems to have taken a very, very high level, that you are this party or you're this party, and everything
and if you
becomes
deviate,
part of that.
You're vilified.
Sure, you're vilified.
Yeah.
And the idea, I think,
there are people
I think you're right.
Yeah.
That people are going to churches that in one fashion or another agree with their politics, so that for individual people, that seems to be the most important thing. Again, in what Rachel said a minute ago too, but is that the reason why we should be going to church? I mean, church certainly should help us to see a much bigger picture and see how we are to act in society. But it first is about our relationship with God, and that just gets muddied, I think, in a lot of ways. And yet at the same time, you can't make. There's a whole sense, Rabbi Ed, it comes from the greatest of the traditions. You can't say something in church that is not a political statement in one sense.
I think.
It has something to do with how we live.
Yeah.
Well, so does politics.
And I think that's right. We're going to have to end it there because we're out of time. And thanks, guys, for being here. And,
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was fun for me. I don't know if it was for you.
So, a lot of churches are now broadcasting their sermons.
Yeah.
And there was a sermon that was being broadcast about the preacher was saying, we don't have the relationships anymore. It used to be that you went to Walmart to go buy toilet paper, and you'd run into your neighbor and you'd have a conversation with your neighbor.
Right.
But now you do it online, right? You just say, okay, Alexa, order me toilet paper. Well, there was a woman listening to that sermon.
All right. We got to go. Say goodbye, Shane.
Goodbye, Mayor. See you in the morning.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Thanks, guys.
So there's this.
We're done.